Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am your investing coach, Wahidah. This is where you're able to learn how to invest and build wealth, even if you're the first in your family to do so. So today we're going to just talk about how I got into the wealth building and personal finance world. Really, it was to become financially savvy myself. I was in a meeting, in a town hall type meeting, my first year after college with HR. They were going over our benefits, and I remember they were talking about, they mentioned things about like an HSA, health savings account, and a 403b, an employer-sponsored retirement account. And I just remember sitting there thinking, like, what are they talking about? And I looked around the room, and there's about 30 of us in the room, and it seemed like they were nodding along, and like they understood. There were a few people asking pretty in-depth questions, and I'm just like, what? What is happening? So in that moment, I was like, oh, it's me. Like, I'm behind. I don't know anything about money management and wealth building. I thought, I was like, oh, it must have been because my parents didn't know to teach me this. I was like, oh, we grew up low income. They just didn't know to teach me this information because they didn't have access to these benefits. I thought, like, oh, my high school didn't teach me this life skill because they were on academic probation. They had other things to worry about, which has some truth in some sense. But in that moment, I took it upon myself. I was like, oh, everyone knows about this information. It's me that doesn't know it. So I went home that night and did a deep dive into everything personal finance. I started reading books. I started listening to the podcasts. I even called up bankers trying to ask questions because I didn't know who to call. I didn't know who to go to. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos like this, like YouTube videos and channels like this. And I slowly started piecing different things together. This was 7 years ago now. And then after a few years of kind of like really absorbing a lot of this information, I was able to save $100,000 at the age of 27. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not doing so bad now. I felt like I was doing okay. So I started reaching out to friends and family to see what they were doing. And that's when I learned that maybe they had some emergency funds, usually not fully funded. Maybe they were putting money away into like a 401k, an employer-sponsored retirement plan, but usually no real plan behind that or goals behind that. And that's when I realized, like, oh, it wasn't just me all those years ago that didn't understand what was going on. There's just a huge education gap in the personal finance world. And that's when I started kind of coaching my friends and family, just showing them what I was doing and coaching them through it. Because I was able, all those years ago, I was able to take the information I was learning online and piece together what was relevant for me and what wasn't. So now as I was talking to them, I was able to cut through that noise. And it turns out that I was really good at it, and I really enjoyed doing so. So now I get to teach women and women of color how they can build wealth for themselves and for their family on a daily basis. So I'm so happy to be in this space. Thanks so much for joining me today, and be sure to come back every week for new videos. All right, thanks so much everyone. Bye.